In 2026, everyone uses Python because it has hundreds of libraries and thousands of use cases, but myself as a data engineer uses Python in totally a different way. I build ETL pipelines, I automate workflows, and I build DAGs as well. And it all started 8 years back when I also had the same questions that you have currently right now in your head. What exactly I need to learn in Python for data engineering? What are the libraries I need to cover and what not to cover? And what is the order of learning? Don't worry, that's why I have created this video. By the way, just a quick update, there is a big difference between using Python with traditional and old school data engineering workflows and modern data engineering workflows, because data engineering is totally changed now. That being said, this video is your one-stop solution for 2026 to master Python, because first of all, you will get the structured step-by-step roadmap for the modern data engineering, all of the resources, all of the book, all of the study material, all of the guide for free. Wow. And just a bonus, I will also tell you about 2 amazing AI tools that will boost your learning and will skyrocket your Python skills to the next level. I wish I also had these tools back in the day. By the way, who are you and why should I watch your video? Good question. I am Ansh Lamba and I am a data engineering industry expert and an instructor. I was featured on the Billboard for my contribution on the data engineering domain, and I have become the Databricks MVP more recently, and I have already helped so many data engineering enthusiasts to land their dream job. So this is me. So I have divided this complete 9 weeks roadmap into 3 different levels, and you need to grow step by step. You cannot learn everything at once, and I just need one promise from you that you will practice a lot while learning, because learning is not possible without practicing. So the first level is called non-negotiable, and this is the area where a lot of people feel overconfident and underestimate this area. And you do not need to make this mistake. So this contains basics such as variables, loops, strings, functions, lists, and dictionaries in detail. And do not forget OOP, object-oriented programming, because this is the most important part of this level. And one more thing, you also need to learn how to create virtual environments, because data engineers never work in the global environments. So this level is all about building a very strong foundational base around your Python understanding. And to be honest, 90% of your technical round 1 interview questions will be coming from this area alone. After completing this level, you need to go to any coding platform, and it can be anyone. For example, let's say HackerRank, and you need to practice a lot of questions for this level. And don't worry, I will also provide you my list of questions as well that I have prepared for you, so that you can directly use that notebook to just code and play. Level 1 will take almost 3 weeks to complete, plus 2 to 5 days of practice with the coding platform. Now let's move to the level 2, which is called heart, because this is the heart of the data engineering, and this is that particular turn which takes you towards data engineering domain. Because to be honest, level 1 is same for every developer, software engineering, web development, everything. But level 2 is that particular thing that takes you towards data engineering. Make sense? So what exactly we have to cover in this area? Let's see. The first and foremost thing is APIs. No, you do not need to build APIs. You need to learn how to fetch data using those APIs. You need to learn about methods such as get, put, post. You need to learn how to pass query parameters, headers, tokens, everything. In short, you need to master APIs. Then you need to master and learn about OS module, because we data engineers play with a lot in the modern days, because we are working with files, structured, unstructured data every single day. Then you need to master my favorite part of this particular level. It's called multi-threading and thread pool executor. So multi-threading is used to run parallel instances of your objects such as classes, functions, and any utility that you have created. And being a data engineer, I use it every single day. Then last thing, you need to learn asynchronous Python. This is the new addition in Python, and this is becoming the hottest topic. So this helps us to write functions using event loops, which saves the resources and is the backbone of the modern AI data engineering era. I told you, data engineers use Python in totally a different way, and you will only hear this thing from a real data engineer. Level 2 should not take more than 2 weeks, because this is all about exploring and just coding. That's it. Now let's move to our third level, and this level is called Librarian, because this level is all about libraries. And to be honest, This is the area where you learn how to build ETL/ELT pipelines, how to automate workflows, how to build DAGs and everything. So this is very, very important. So first of all, you need to cover one simple library because this is a very quick library. It's called NumPy. This is a library that we use to work with arrays. Data engineers do not work with arrays very often, but you need to know about arrays as well. And it's very quick to cover. Then learn pandas. Yes, pandas. Pandas is not just for data analysts. It is for data engineers as well because pandas will make you familiar with data frames. It will build a very strong base about data cleaning, data manipulation, data aggregation, etc. Then you need to learn Python SQL connectors. For example, PyMySQL, scikop-G2. These are the libraries that are used to create connections from Python directly to the SQL databases. And this is the backbone of that ETL pipeline. And to be honest, this is very simple. And there is one optional library that you can just add in your portfolio. It's optional. It is called PyTech. This is basically a data validation library and it is a very new addition to Python, but it is booming a lot. So if you want to take my advice, you can just add this library as well in your roadmap. Then after covering all of these things, then you need to jump directly onto the PySpark because see, PySpark is not just a Python library. It is much more than that. It is the backbone of distributed computing, big data and everything. So now you are familiar with all the data frames and all. Now you can understand PySpark easily. So now kickstart your PySpark journey after covering all of these things. Make sense? Level 3 should take 3 to 4 weeks max and that's it. So here are the 3 levels that you need to cover step by step and this will help you to build a very strong knowledge base around Python. So now let's talk about the resources because now I know you are very excited to learn everything. You need your toolkit, right? You need your resources. Let's see what are the resources that you can use.
So let's try to talk about the resources for level 1 and there's a good news for you. There are ample number of resources available for this particular level. And there's one more thing. Because there are so many resources available, you need to be very cautious while picking one thing. Okay, what is that thing? So first of all, let's talk about what is the resource. So the resource is none other than, you already know that, I'm so sure. The answer is, let's say, YouTube. Yes, I can guarantee you that you can complete this whole level in just particular, you can say one go because of YouTube. And what you need to do, simply go to your favorite browser. Okay, go to any browser and simply search, let's say, Python full course. Okay, you can literally type this. If you just want to become, you can say more, you can say precise, you can simply type for data engineers. I think this is like going to recommend my video, I'm so sure. So there'll be like so many links and you can then say YouTube. Perfect. So now what you can do, you can simply watch any tutorial, but if you just want to learn from me, I also have created this particular video. Let me just move my screen here. And I have also created this particular masterclass that you can just watch. I am not saying that you need to just follow this particular resource. You can watch any resource, but make sure that you, let me just come to the main point. You pick only one thing, pick only one resource. Okay, pick only one resource and complete it 100%. Why I'm saying this thing? Because see, whenever you just pick any kind of resource from any mentor, the mentor will cover almost everything. I'm so sure. Order can be different, right? So when you just pick one resource, one course, and you complete it fully, you understand all the topics. That is the key for this particular resource. Make sense? This is the resource number 1. And if I just talk about the second resource, what you can do, the second resource is for your coding practice, right? So what you can do, simply go to Google or any browser. And first of all, there are so many platforms available for coding questions. My personal recommendation will be, let's say, HackerRank, because HackerRank is pretty much simpler as compared to other platforms. So if you are just starting with Python, just go to this platform. And just go to this platform and just try to just solve some questions because it will genuinely help you a lot. And do not aim for like solving so many questions. Just aim for solving the relevant questions. And you already know what are the relevant questions that you need to solve. All the topics that I've recently showed you. All these topics, right? Variables, loops, strings, functions, data structures, oops, list and dictionaries. You need to put more effort in these two areas. Make sense? Perfect. Because your first round will be coming from this area alone and you need to be very, very cautious. Make sense? Plus, I have already provided you with some basic questions with the notebook that you can just practice, and it will be like more than enough if you are just getting started, and then just directly jump onto the hacker rank. Make sense? So these are your resources. Number one is YouTube, and the second one is any coding platform, plus my notebook that I have provided. It's like very simple one, but it is like for those who are just getting started with the Python, right? Makes sense. Very good. So this area is critical, and we gonna just spend some more time to understand like how you can just cover this area with resources. So first of all, let me just tell you one thing, that obviously is like one of my favorite topics of Python. There is no dedicated resources available for these particular topics, but I mean to say that there is no like one resource available for these topics. There are multiple resources. That means you need to go topic by topic. For example, let's say you first need to cover APIs. So you will first go to API and then you will cover that. Then you will go to, let's say, OS. Then you will cover that particular topic. Then multi-threading. That's how you need to cover these topics. There is no like one-stop solution available for all the things. But there's one good news. Yes. So remember, I just showed you my particular Python full course for data engineers. I have covered 1 to 2 topics from this level. So that is a kind of cherry on the cake for you. You do not need to go for the, you can say to look for the resources. And I have covered multi-threading and OS module and APIs as well in that particular video, but it is like level 1 thing. So it is like very fundamental thing. But now you need to go to each topic step by step. So let me just show you how you can just do that. So number one thing is we are covering Python, right? So if you want to learn about APIs, you will directly go to one API documentation, which is Flask API, because Flask is, you can say, a kind of lightweight API which will help you understand a lot of things in the Flask API. So simply search Flask API, you can just go to the official documentation. And now I know you are living in the AI era, so you can also go to ChatGPT, and this is the best way to learn about APIs, and this is like my personal recommendation as well if you just want to follow. So what you can do, you can simply say I want to learn Flask. Yes, you need to write Flask because Flask is like very lightweight and you will actually understand a lot of things with respect to Python, right? Because Flask is a Python API. So I want to learn Flask API fundamentals and all of its methods. Provide me a detailed notes or something like that, notes, or you can say notebook, and hit enter. It will actually help you to understand all of those things, because now obviously we are living in the AI era. We do not need to go through the documentation. It's a good practice, but yeah. So it will simply give you this particular thing and you can create that as well. And don't worry, I will also create my own version of this particular notebook and I will attach it with the resources that you can just refer. Make sense? So it will help you understand Flask as well. Okay, Flask is done. Now let's come to OS part. OS part is very, very easy. For OS part, you simply need to learn about the fundamental things. For example, you can say how to copy data, how to move files, how to create folders, and all those things. Don't worry, I will also provide the cheat sheet for OS as well. Now let's talk about multi-threading. Multi-threading is the area that you need to master, and this area is already covered in my previous video that I have showed in detail. So this is also done. For asynchronous function, this is a very new concept, very new area. And don't worry, I will also provide a detailed notebook for asynchronous Python as well. In short, you need to accept that you need to refer to so many documentation and blogs and practice to cover this particular level, because this level is all about coding, testing, and exploring. That's it. Make sense? Simple. So now let's talk about the level 3 called Librarian. And this is, you can say, the best or favorite part of every developer, because now in this particular level, the developer becomes a data engineer. So now, as you know that I have already provided you a detailed cheat sheet for NumPy, so you are good with that particular thing. So you should not be worried at all. Make sense? Perfect. So now let's talk about the pandas. You need to learn pandas in detail, and as you already know, I have already talked about this particular resource in detail, and which is the book. So you need to, you can say, purchase, or you can just use that book. I don't know how. Book called pandas, and I can just show you as well. If I just go to website, I can simply write learning pandas, I guess, and here you will see that book, learning pandas book. If I go to images, I think, yeah, Python for data analysis makes sense. I think this is the book. I can just move myself here. So I think this is a very good book by O'Reilly, Python for data analysis. It is for, I think, NumPy and pandas both, but obviously they have just covered pandas in very much detail. So you can just use this book if you just want to learn pandas in detail. And by the way, I have also provided you a quick cheat sheet if you just want to basically, you can say, cover your fundamentals. That's it. So okay, book and pandas. So this is first thing. The second thing will be very interesting, which is PyMySQL. So, or basically the similar libraries. Now you need to cover this area on your own, because this is the area which is not something you need to learn. This is the area that you directly need to write the code. Really, yes, you directly need to write the code. So what you can do, you can simply go to, let's say, some good platforms like Medium and simply search let's say like this, because that's how you learn. I'm just giving you the real world scenario. So simply say how to connect Python or let's say pandas with MySQL. So here you will find some blogs. I'm not like recommending any particular blog, but you can simply go to any blog and try to read like how you can just connect to these things, because there's nothing to learn in this. It's only about the concept. It's only about how to make a connection, and that's it. Make sense? It is very simple and quick one. It is like very easy. Then Pydantic. Pydantic is like my personal favorite as well, because Pydantic is a kind of new library, and for Pydantic the best resource is their documentation. But don't worry, I will just tell you what part of documentation, because you do not need to cover everything. Pydantic doc. So if I just go to, let's say, this browser, I will simply say Pydantic. And you just need to like you can say go through 1 to 2 pages, and that's it. So you can just go to, first of all, this home page. You will learn, I would say, most of the things, and then you will see some Pydantic examples, and here they have just explained some examples, and you will only understand these things if your OOP concepts are clear. That's why I have just told you, you need to master level 1. See, they are just using classes, inheritance, multiple inheritance, or you can say multi-level inheritance, single level as well. So that's how you can just learn Pydantic. Make sense? Good. And then last but not the least, PySpark. See, PySpark should not come under Python roadmap logically, but I know a lot of people want to just get started with PySpark. PySpark is totally a different domain, but you can still get started with PySpark because you already are familiar with pandas, and you are already familiar with Pydantic. You are already familiar with how to create connections. So now you can understand PySpark easily. But yes, it is Ansh Lamba's recommendation that learn PySpark as a totally different subject. But if you just want to get started with PySpark, you can, because now you are eligible to do that. And what is the best resource for PySpark? See, I will just search and you will get to know PySpark full course. Okay, because I have created a full course and GitHub repo as well if you just want to look at it. So this is my repo, and here I have just created a one detailed notebook where you will find all of the code related to PySpark, everything in detail. So if you just want to go through it, you can go through it. And I have also created a detailed video on YouTube for this. PySpark Ansh Lamba. And it is like pure PySpark. So it is, I think, a kind of 6 hours long video. You can just watch in one go. And if all the fundamentals are clear, you can understand it. Make sense? So these are all the resources that you can just refer for each level. And yes, resources are all about how well you can understand the technology, or basically the framework or that particular area. Make sense?
Now let's talk about the AI tools that you can just add in your preparation, which will help you prepare better and learn faster. So number 1 tool, any guesses? No, it's not ChatGPT. So the tool is Notebook LM.
So let's talk about our first AI tool, which is called Notebook LM. So this is an amazing AI tool. Why? And this is like booming currently right now for especially learning. What is that particular factor which is not available in any other tool, which is ChatGPT and all? Let me just show you. So if I just open Notebook LM, which is a kind of Google product, you can simply go on Google, any platform, search Notebook LM and click on try Notebook LM for free, because it is for free for now. I don't know about the future, but currently it is free. So you simply need to click on create new notebook. And the moment you will create, like click on this, it will ask you what are the documents I need to use for the knowledge base. So that means it will not use its default knowledge, it will only use the knowledge that you will provide. That is the best thing. That prevents model from generating answers out of hallucination and just randomly generating something which is outdated, right? Because let's say you are learning something and it is just generating some answer syntax which is already outdated. And we see this thing with data engineering a lot. So what you can do, let's say you are learning something and you have a PDF file, you can upload it. Let's say you are learning from my YouTube videos, you can simply actually paste the link of that video and some other drive or text as well. So what it will do, then it will use it as a knowledge base. And the best thing, you can just drop multiple knowledge base as well. That means you can upload multiple files. You can attach the links for like YouTube videos of multiple YouTube videos. It's not restricted to just one YouTube video or one resource or one file. No, you can just literally attach as many data as you can. The best thing is it will not generate anything out of that particular context. Makes sense? So let's say you are learning from my video and I will simply go to, let's say, this video that we just searched. PySpark Full Course, Ansh, Lamba. Let's click on this video and I will click on the share button to get the link. So this is copied, perfect. I will paste it here. Makes sense. Insert. So now what it will do, it will take some time, a few seconds as you can see here, and then it will use it as a knowledge base and it's done. So it will quickly create a summary for you, and obviously it is not of much use. So what I will do, I will just show you. I will literally ask one question. I want to understand how to apply joins, right? I literally write this thing, hit enter, and it will generate the answer on the basis of this video, what is mentioned and what is told in this particular video. See, now you are getting the answer based on this context. It is not generating this answer on the basis of its own knowledge. No, it is literally generating the answer using the transcript of my voice that I have spoken in that video, and then it is generating the answer with the examples as well. That's how it works, and that is amazing thing. Then you can also generate some mind maps if you want to, because whenever you just learn, we want to create our notes as well. You can literally create mind maps, which is amazing thing for the breaking down the things. Then flashcards for quizzes, and then infographic if you want to understand something, and there are so many things. And you can even create slides. It is like a new addition for this. Make sense? This is an amazing tool.
Tool number 2 is VS Code Editor. Ansh, Lamba, that is not an AI tool, that is just a code editor. Hold on. VS Code Editor with agent mode.
Now let's talk about the second AI tool, which is none other than VS Code. And this is actually an interesting one because a lot of you will say, hey, this is just a code editor and why it is like an AI tool. Let me just show you. So if you just work with, let's say, VS Code Editor, what it does, let me just bring my VS Code Editor here. So here, I know this is just a kind of another code editor, but what makes it special, can you just see this button, this one? So this is nothing but a kind of agent mode. Okay, just click here, toggle chat, and you can enable this when you will be logging into the VS Code agent mode. Can you see this button? This icon. So when you click here, it will ask you to sign up, and when you just sign up with your GitHub account, it will enable this particular agent mode, and I personally love this. So what it will enable, and you will say, will it enable AI features? You need to ask how many features it will enable. So when you click here on this button, it will enable this particular agent chat. What it will do, this is the agent that is directly aligned to your code base. And what does it mean? So let's say you just want to practice some Python questions. Not just about practice, you want to learn something, and you will say, hey, I will write this code, can you please elaborate this particular code, can you please evaluate my code, whatever question you want to ask. Traditionally, you will go to ChatGPT and you will type the same thing, then you will get the answer, then you will get the code, then you will paste it here, and you will just do this movement again and again and again. Bro, we are living in 2026, you cannot do this. So what you will do, let's say I want to learn about Flask. I want to learn about the Flask fundamentals. Please create a detailed notebook for that. Hit enter, and then it will automatically generate the notebook for you. That means you do not need to go to ChatGPT to first of all get the code and then just copy paste the code and that's it. No, You need to just integrate the AI with the code base. As you can see, it has automatically generated this file, this notebook, and it has also written the code as well for me. It is still performing the task. It is completing this notebook. And as you can see, everything is here for me with all the code, with all the dependencies, with all the code base, everything. I don't need to go copy and paste every time. Make sense? So that's how it works, and it is still like creating and continuing creating this notebook. So that is the modern way to work and learn with AI instead of just using those traditional tools and doing the copy paste thing. So this is all about the AI tools that can boost your knowledge. And don't worry, all of the resources, all of the notes, everything including all of these things will be available to you in the form of resources. Make sense?
So this is your complete 9 weeks roadmap that you need to follow for Python in data engineering domain, and I have provided you everything: structured roadmap, guide, notes, resources, videos, books, blogs, everything. Now it's your turn to take action on it and master Python and get your dream job offer in 2026. Make sense? I know you love the video and I want to see your love in the comment section. And now I want you to just write down in the comment section that you will master Python in 2026 for sure. Happy learning.